Conservative New Media viewers, J-Lin fans, and LA Lakers fans around the world, what is up? It's me, PFA, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we are here to talk in a longer format about the Utah Jazz's destruction of the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, 119-86, from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. And if you want to watch the short version of this video, then we already did that. So we will encourage you to go and check that out. I'll probably put some information in the video description and or the comment section to give you a link so you can just go check that out if you want to do that rather than watching the long video if you just don't have time to do it, or maybe you want to watch the short version now and watch the longer version later, etc., etc. Okay, I'm becoming a lot more pessimistic about the outlook for this team, for the Lakers, than I was going into this preseason and season. Now, to be fair, the Lakers were without 6 players tonight: Ryan Kelly, Xavier Henry, Nick Young, Jeremy Lin, Jordan Clarkson, and Steve Nash. Those are substantial detractions from this team and from what the rotation is going to look like and what it will probably look like. You're losing a lot of scoring. You're losing youth. You're losing athleticism. So that should be mentioned before I kind of get into more of why I am feeling a little more dejected, I guess you would say, about the Lakers' prospects this season. The core reason, the main reason, or actually I should say reasons, why I feel the way I feel about the Lakers this year is because of, number one, Steve Nash. And it looks like he's going to have his health issues all over again, which is truly unfortunate. We wish the best for Steve. He's an incredible player. He's had an amazing career. But it just looks like he's going to struggle to be healthy again. And that's definitely going to affect the team. The primary reason why I am down on this team after watching this game is because of Kobe Bryant. Now, Kobe had 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, and that sounds fantastic. And to be fair to him, he did have some very good moments in this game. However, he shot 10 of 23 from the field. He missed 6 free throws. And what I'm certain of tonight that I was not certain about after the third game against the Warriors is that Kobe's legs are absolutely not close to what they were before the Achilles injury. His lift is less, his quickness is less, etc. And the reason why I say this is, in the Warriors game, the second Warriors game, game 3 of the preseason, we heard that Byron Scott had been working the team really hard, and he had, from all reports. And so you figured the legs were kind of dead, the guys were tired, and so on and so forth. But I think there's been 3 days off since the last preseason game. Kobe's been resting some in practices, I believe. Maybe not quite doing what everybody else is doing, or taking a little bit more of a break, this type of a thing. So we saw Kobe tonight with 3 days of rest and maybe a little bit scaled back practices. His legs are probably close to as fresh as they're going to be. They will get better. There is kind of a adaptation curve that you go through when you go through very, very rigorous exercise. So the training camp probably isn't all the way worn off on the guys yet. So I'll give that to Kobe. And Kobe has missed a lot of time from the court. So he just needs to kind of get back into the rhythm and the game shape of being in NBA games versus NBA practices. But we heard earlier today, to the dismay of many Lakers fans and many Kobe fans, that ESPN had ranked Kobe number 40 among all NBA players. And what was said by ESPN, I believe by Chris Broussard specifically, was that people around the league, or some of them, had said that Kobe is basically done and that Kobe, he can't beat people off the dribble anymore, meaning he cannot get around his defender and get to the basket for layups. And so he's got to settle for more jump shots, fadeaway jump shots, pump fakes, this type of a thing. And that's what I saw tonight. And that's what I've seen over the first 3 preseason games, and I wasn't sure if it was real or not. But tonight I think it's more real than I thought. There were a couple times Kobe did have 1 or 2 drives to the basket. One in particular came from the left-hand side against Gordon Hayward, and he tried to get a shot off the backboard that was missed. But definitely his legs are not what they used to be. And that's because his ceiling is lower. That means the team's ceiling is going to be lower. I don't know exactly how many games it means. I'm sure that he will improve as the year goes on in certain respects. He still has to feel it out because he hasn't really been on the court for very long since the Achilles injury and since the knee injury. But for a player with Kobe's mileage, remember, this is a player with the 5th most minutes played in NBA history. With that kind of mileage, combined with Kobe's age of 36 years old, and he's played 19 seasons, or this is his 19th season now, you don't substantially improve over a season in terms of conditioning. You tend to go the opposite way. You tend to wear down and fade out. There's not going to be a whole bunch of opportunities during this season where Kobe's going to get 3 days of rest. It's going to be quite rare. And so this is what's really coloring my perception of what I think this team is going to be able to achieve. Now, for the Jeremy Lin fans, there's one really good thing about all of this, and actually for the Lakers fans as well, and it is Jeremy Lin has the chance to make a substantial impact on this team because we're getting, this is in some ways almost a perfect spot for him. It's almost like New York all over again. Kobe's definitely going to get his shots. He's going to get, maybe he'll average 20, 22 field goal attempts per game. So that does limit what other players can do to a certain extent, but that's not unexpected. That's what we expect to happen, and we knew that coming in. But one of the best things that Jeremy Lin can do is he is good at making average players better on both ends of the floor, but particularly on the offensive end. The reason why he makes them better on defense is because they get involved on offense. And when guys are involved on offense, they tend to play harder on defense. This is the perfect roster and the perfect situation for Jeremy Lin to come in and work his magic. The one exception being there's not a lot of shooters on this roster. In New York, Jeremy Lin had Steve Novak, guy that was a deadly three-point shooter and still is, playing tonight for Utah, I believe. So that is a little bit of a minus. But this is where you need somebody like Gary Chen. This is the kind of a setup in some respects for Linsanity, except Kobe's still there. However, number one, I think Kobe understands the situation. I think Kobe will let Jeremy have a lot of control of the offense in certain times of the game and in certain situations. Number two, Kobe himself is going to play more of a facilitator role, more of a passing role on this team than I think that he played in previous years. The reason why I say this, and I mentioned this in the Game 3 video, because Kobe is having a harder time beating his man off the dribble. What he's doing is when he does drive the ball, when he does dribble the ball towards the basket, he's looking to pass more than he's looking to shoot, or at least he's looking to pass more than he would look to shoot in previous versions of Kobe. And so with Kobe and Jeremy on the court at the same time, you're going to have two distributors. And with Kobe and Jeremy on the court at different times, you will always have a distributor on the court. Of course, Steve Nash is one of the greatest distributors ever when he's healthy. And if he can play, 15 to 20 minutes a game, that will help tremendously. Not just because he can pass, but because he's an incredible shooter and somebody else that those guys can pass out to for shots. The defense was, again, not good. Some of this is normal. It's just the guys are learning the defensive rotations. I saw several times, or at least once or twice, Julius Randle just was really lost on defense. But he's a rookie. He's 19 years old. You expect that that's going to happen. Still, this team is going to have very serious challenges on defense. Utah shot 51% for the game. They shot 44% from three-point range, 8 of 18. They got 27 free throws made out of 39 attempts. They were very good on the glass, 50 rebounds to 41 of the Lakers. They did not turn the ball over too much, 14 turnovers to the Lakers, 18. So the Lakers are going to have a hard time imposing their will on teams. They don't have the defensive personality yet. They don't have the athleticism to really be able to do that. So, for example, later in this game, Kobe got on a nice roll. He hit a couple different jumpers in a row, but it was like Utah was still up by 20. So it's kind of like, so what? It was almost like Utah was toying with the Lakers. And unfortunately, I think you're going to see games like this one this year, at least when the Lakers are having injury issues, which is Kobe shoots a number of times, he scores a number of points, but the team gets blown out. And the other team almost isn't trying all the way because they don't have to. They're winning so easily. Now, again, that should be better once the team is hopefully healthy or mostly healthy. But as I said, I think I kind of got slapped with some reality tonight. I really had high hopes for this team. I really, truly did. But they're less so now. But again, I do believe this is a very good opportunity for Jeremy. And what he's going to have to do, if the team does struggle as much as I think that they might, sometimes when you're on a really bad team, the team can kind of drift or guys can kind of lose focus, this type of thing. Jeremy's going to have to stay tunnel vision. It's a contract year for him. He's got a reputation to rebuild fairly or unfairly in the league, so he's going to have to do everything he needs to do, and that won't be hard with Kobe and Steve Nash around. Some of the other younger guys might be a little more difficult, but with Jeremy's work ethic, and he knows what's on the line, it shouldn't be too difficult. The Lakers, again, were not trying to shoot many three-pointers. They only attempted 5 of them, and they made none of them. LA shot 41% for the game. They were out-rebounded by 9, as I mentioned earlier. They had 15 assists and 18 turnovers, which certainly that's not what you're looking for, that type of a ratio. Now, there's been discussion about Ronnie Price, and there's been some fans that have said maybe Ronnie Price should start ahead of Jeremy. Ronnie had an up-and-down game. He had some very good moments in this game, playing defense, and at one particular, we got a steal, I think, at half court. Took it in for a nice little two-handed dunk. That was nice. He finished with 8 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 5 turnovers. His efficiency for the game, this is an NBA efficiency, just a kind of simple calculation, not weighted like with PER or something. I'm just going over it real quickly here. His efficiency was 6, I believe, in 27 minutes, which on a rough estimate, that works out to maybe like a 9 or 10 PER, which is not so great. He did play some good defense, though, and he had to go in there playing knowing that there really wasn't a ton of depth at point guard because both Jeremy and Steve were out. Now, Keith Appling was there to play some point guard, but there was a lot of responsibility on Ronnie Price tonight. And look, I like Ronnie Price. I think there's a good chance he's going to make the team. And he can help. I like his attitude. He seems very professional, whatever. Is he a serious threat to take the starting spot from Jeremy? No. Assuming that Jeremy becomes the starter based upon the questions around Steve Nash's health. I don't think Ronnie's a real serious threat in that respect, just from my own personal opinion. So, again, for the Jeremy Lin fans, this is a very good situation. The team needs Jeremy. He probably will become the starter, and his style, his abilities can definitely elevate this team in a way that they need to be elevated. I like the way Jordan Hill played tonight. He had 12 points and 14 rebounds. That's the good version of Jordan Hill. There's been some Jordan Hill this preseason that hasn't been as great. But when he's energetic and he's pounding the boards, he can be a very effective player. He also had 2 blocks tonight. Ed Davis, 4 points, 4 boards, 2 blocks. This is what they need him to do. They need him to protect the rim, along with Jordan Hill. That's going to be very important. I think Ed Davis is a player who will click particularly well with Jeremy, which we've already seen. And what I mean by that is when Jeremy plays, Ed Davis is probably going to have more points. When Jeremy does not play, Ed Davis might have fewer points because of the pick and roll action and because of the chemistry that is developing between those two, because they have spent a good amount of time working with the second unit, and they've kind of built up that rapport. So I'm trying to think what else I have to say about this game. I took a tremendous amount of notes about the game. I can't go over all of them, even though this is the longer format. That was my overall impression tonight, was that I'm a little less optimistic about this team having a real chance to make a playoff push than I was before a week ago or so. Again, that is because of my opinion about where Kobe is at, where his body is at, and just what it is after the Achilles surgery in particular. Also, the knee injury that he had last year. But an Achilles tendon rupture, which is what Kobe had, is perhaps the most devastating injury that a basketball player can suffer. It is known to rob the athlete of a considerable amount of athleticism. And I think that has happened in Kobe's case. You lose vertical jumping ability, you lose quickness, you lose burst, these types of things. And many players who have suffered Achilles tendon injuries in the NBA retired. They were finished. They were done. And the majority of them who came back, they were reduced, at least at first. There are exceptions, the most notable among them being Dominique Wilkins, the great player who played for the Atlanta Hawks primarily. Dominique injured his Achilles at, I believe he was around age 32. He came back, and he had a tremendous year the following year. It was incredible. He might have even had slightly better numbers than he had before. However, Dominique was not the same player when he came back as before he got hurt. He became more of a jump shooting player. He had definitely lost explosiveness, became more of a three-point shooter. He had to alter his game, but he was successful at doing that. That's the template for Kobe. Become even better with your footwork, become even better as a jump shooter, get even better at post-ups, etc. And to Kobe's credit, he's done that. His jump shot, again, when his legs are under him, his jump shot looks fantastic. Looks as good as it's ever looked. It's just a matter of, are the legs going to be there all the time? Are they going to be, they're going to be kind of up and down, which is more of what it might be the case this year. The other thing with Kobe is his defense looks really poor, particularly when he's not playing the man that has the ball in his hands. So when he's playing off the ball, or when he's playing help defense, or he's kind of roaming a little bit. There's at least one occasion tonight, and I think there were more than that, where the man Kobe was guarding had wide open shots, just because Kobe hadn't gotten back, or he wasn't able to recover on defense, maybe from helping out. And so the man would get like an open three-pointer, or this type of thing. This has been an issue for Kobe for several years. So this isn't brand new from the Achilles injury or whatever, but the Achilles injury makes it worse. Because, again, the ability to kind of help out on defense and then get back to your man if he gets the ball and shoots is lessened. It's diminished. So what Kobe looks like now, there was a school of thought among some of the NBA media that before Kobe's Achilles injury, I believe, that Kobe might just try to become essentially focused on offense. And that at that period of time, he would try to chase down Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. I don't think that's going to happen now. But the people that believed that or felt that way were thinking, okay, the team's not going to be any good. That's okay for Kobe. He'll just rack up a bunch of points and try to become the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. I think we're seeing some version of that now, or that's what it looks like might be happening, where Kobe's going to expend the majority of his energy on offense. And look, that's fair. He's getting close to Michael Jordan for third place in all-time scoring. He's This is his 19th season. You can't do it forever, and you've got to kind of figure out where you're going to use your energy once you get to that point in your career. But as I said, I think that's kind of some of what is occurring right now. And unfortunately, as I said, I don't know how good the team's going to be in the following 2 years, this year and next year, when Kobe's contract is taking up about 40%, I believe, of the Lakers' salary cap. We'll see. They could have signed some people this offseason, but they didn't get the opportunity to do that. Carmelo Anthony chose to stay in New York. Other players chose to either remain with their teams or sign with somebody else. Another thing is, I do not think there's been some speculation about would Kobe play beyond his current contract. I doubt that that's going to happen. This is my own feeling. Where Kobe's at now is not going to improve, meaning it will because he's aging and because of the mileage on him. He could continue to play. If he's able to maintain his current physical level, he could still play beyond this year and next year. But he'll become more of a defensive liability, although he still might be able to score in certain times. So if the Lakers if he wants to keep going, he probably could. He probably can, as long as his body allows him to. But given his competitiveness and his desire to go out on top, I'm not sure if he'll continue to play after next season. My thinking is that he probably will not, because again, you don't, when you're a player as great as Kobe is and has been, you don't want to kind of lessen your image. You don't want to be out there as an old guy who just is a shadow of his former self. I don't think Kobe wants to do that. In fact, he said things basically to that effect. So my guess is that next year will be Kobe's final year. Okay, that is probably just about it. We expect to see Jeremy back on Sunday against this same against this same Utah team. I believe that game, let me check really quickly where that's going to take place at. During the preseason, many teams will often travel around. For the Lakers, what they do is they go to different spots in Southern California because you kind of want to nurture and reward your entire fan base rather than just in Los Angeles itself. So you go to Ontario, California, which is a little bit east of LA. You go to Anaheim, which is a little bit southeast of LA, just to kind of give fans that might not get the chance to see the team during the season, you kind of reward them and let them take part in things too. The game on Sunday will take place in the Staples Center, which is LA's home court, and it will take place at 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and 9:30 a.m. on Monday, October 20th, in Taipei, Taiwan, Manila, the Philippines, as well as China. We do expect, or we certainly hope, that Jeremy will be back for that game. And it's good. The team they get Friday and Saturday off, rest up their legs, a nice 2-day break there for Kobe, Steve Nash, and some of the other vets. Jeremy's been participating in certain aspects of practice. He's been doing more of his own work, from what reports say. He's been doing shooting drills. He has been able to do running, etc., but I don't think he's participating in the full extent of practice as his left ankle sprain heals up. Hopefully he will be back, and I absolutely believe he's going to provide a spark for this team, and he can. He is capable of doing that. For those of you not familiar with Linsanity in New York, or you don't remember the story, the team was struggling badly. The Knicks were like, I don't know, they were 8-15 or something like this. They were way out of playoff contention. They were done, and they were kind of the laughing stock. Carmelo Anthony was hurt. Amari Stoudemire was hurt. And I want to say Baron Davis, was he on the team then? There was I think so. He was hurt. Jeremy, basically as the last option, or one of them, was put into the lineup by Mike D'Antoni, and everything changed. And I've talked before about Jeremy being able to weaponize a team. What I mean by that is he can take average players or role players and make them into effective offensive players because of the way Jeremy can break down the defense off the dribble and because of his court vision and passing ability. I do absolutely believe he's capable of doing that with this team. And I think he will do it. And I think the team will let him do it. Again, there will be give and take, but I'm sure between him and Kobe and etc. But Kobe's on board with Jeremy Lin, which may not have been the case, to be nice about it, in New York and in Houston. Once I mentioned New York, once the stars started getting healthy again, particularly Carmelo Anthony. In Houston, Jeremy never really had the opportunity to do it because once the team traded for James Harden, that changed everything. That basically took the ball out of Jeremy's hands, so to speak. So in this situation, it's different. Kobe will have the ball. Kobe will get his shots, but Kobe, you can see, likes Jeremy Lin. He's already looking at Jeremy Lin. He wants to mentor Jeremy Lin, and he wants to help Jeremy Lin. So I think Kobe is going to facilitate Jeremy Lin being able to play his game the way that he can play it, and the way that's going to help this team be able to play at its optimum level. So, okay, that is it for now. We are looking forward to Sunday. We're hoping that the team can do better. We're hoping Jeremy will be back. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the video. Your comments below. What did you see in the game? Do you see what I saw? Do you see something different? Am I wrong? Am I missing something here? We encourage you to come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group, which has over 3,500 members and growing all the time. You'll find information for that in the video description below the video player. You will also find information for our Jeremy Lin Twitter account, which we talk about the NBA and talk about Jeremy there. One other thing I forgot to mention, and I should have said this at the beginning of the video, and I forgot. We want to really greatly thank the artist and blogger Gary Chen of Taiwan for the artwork that you're looking at right now, as well as the artwork that we put on the short video from tonight. I've neglected to mention Gary in the last 3 videos or so that I've done, or all of the game videos I've done this year when I've used this artwork. So I apologize. Somebody from the J-Lin Garden, Jeremy Lin Garden, please tell Gary I'm sorry. If he knows, I'm sorry that I haven't had the opportunity. I've just forgotten to mention him and to thank him. And I will work to get Gary's information in the video description below the video player as well, so that you can go and check him out. I believe the link I have is for Facebook. Again, he's an incredibly talented artist. He's a very popular blogger in Taiwan, and you can see why with his abilities here. We greatly appreciate Gary for allowing us to use his artwork and for making this picture. I believe he made this picture specifically for us. So we really appreciate that. And many people have enjoyed his work, and rightfully so. Also, we will put information for video highlights of this game in the video description below the video player, so you can check that out if you did not have a chance to catch the game when it was on. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. I am PFV, once again, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. It is currently 1:56 a.m. on Friday, October 17th, 2014, here on the East Coast of the United States, which means it is, what time is it in Central Europe, where F. Paul is? I believe it is either 5:56 or 6:56, one of those two, where F. Paul is. I believe they're in the heart of Europe, and it is 1:56 p.m. on Friday, October 17, 2014, in Taipei, Taiwan, in China, and in Manila, the Philippines. We are looking for better things. Not all the games are going to look like this. Even if I don't think the team's going to be quite what I hoped it could be, the games are not going to be like this. If you're missing this many pieces of your team, you're going to suffer, which is definitely what happened with the Lakers tonight. But that is it for now. I'm very excited to see what Jeremy can do when he is set free with this team and when he and Kobe are in sync. So hopefully we'll start to get a glimpse of that even more than we've seen already coming up in the preseason game number 5 against the Utah Jazz this Sunday in the United States. Till next time, take care. Hope you're having a nice night or a nice day wherever you are around the world when you listen to this video. We will talk to you soon. See you then.